I'm Jim Bowes, the Chief Exec of Designability, and we're here today to talk about our project, the Unfair Index.
Yes. Firstly, nice to meet you, Jim. My name's Hammas Majid. I am from the Real Lived Experience panel on designability, and I'm involved in some of the exciting projects that we are going to be doing together.
Yeah, good
Um,
to see you today.
no, you too as well. How are you doing today? Anyway, everything good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, yeah.
Excited to have a chat about this project, and it's really good that it's started happening. Been talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it a long
100%.
time, and now it's happening.
100%. Some of the exciting things that we are doing is it's amazing. But I've got a few questions for you, Jim, if you're happy to give an answer.
Yeah,
So
don't make them too hard.
what is this project all about, and why was it created now?
Um, the Unfair Index is really all about looking at the barriers disabled people face every day in their day-to-day life. So whether that's just trying to do things at home or get to college or get to work or school, what are those things every day that make life harder? And I think for me, where this started was when I arrived at Designability, we had this desire in our strategy to have a new pipeline of innovation projects. And what we'd been like really good at was bringing lived experience, bringing disabled people into specific projects, but we'd never like really gone out and listened in a big way and
Yeah.
thought about what facets of life right now here in 2025, 2026, next year are the biggest barriers. And so for me, it's all about listening and then looking at what practical solutions could be put in place to make a difference to those barriers.
No, I really love that. I'm quite new to designability, probably 2 weeks in, and having that sort of feedback from you guys, especially coming from a wheelchair point of view, is it's just amazing that we could work together and improve life quality as it goes along. Okay, question number two. So, what are we trying to achieve, and how will findings create change?
So there's a few things we're trying to achieve. Like, first of all, we want to like really listen to disabled people and find out what is most important to as many people as possible. From that, we're going to create an index of the biggest barriers, and that will give us like jumping off points to have amazing conversations with other charities, possibly with companies. And hopefully, what will fall out of that is projects where we can do like really genuinely tangible things that will make a difference. So, it might be that we find out something about travel or leisure, and we can go, right, let's partner with this other organization over here and let's do an amazing project that sort of changes how something is designed. It might be, of course, that we find out some things that are like not designability's specialist skills. And what we'll do there is like share those with the wider world, like through publishing the reports, and hope that they get used as sort of inspiration for other organizations to change how they do things.
How is this different from Designability's past work?
Yeah, I think what designability has been really brilliant at for a long time is doing user testing, doing research directly with disabled people on very specific projects where an organization has come to us or an individual has come to us or lots of people have asked us for something and we work in an area. Um, and we do design work and we prototype things and we make things based on a need that we've seen and identified. But what we've never done in the past is go really broad and go, tell us everything about your day-to-day life and what the
Yeah.
barriers are. And this is like super broad, and it really sort of goes into going looking at what are those biggest barriers, and then fundamentally what is a real I think a big step forward for us is just how much um, folks like you on at Hammas on the lived experience panel are really shaping how we do the work, and we've
Yeah.
already seen like a fundamental shift in like how the survey that we're going to launch next year is going to be shaped and structured because of the input from the panel.
What was the thought behind involving advisors as active shapers rather than just participants?
I think, um, I'm a parent to a disabled child, and
Yeah.
I know how I'll often find myself in conversations with parents of non-disabled children, and you sort of how lived experience, how my experience of bringing my daughter up shapes my experience and my view of the world, shows to me just how much things can be different for different people. And what we really need is to bring the broadest experience of disabled people into the work that we do, because we then do better work ultimately. And it has to not just be about once we're in a project. That's great and really important in its own right. But we want to reshape how we talk about the work we do and how we do the work we do. And that's why the panel has been amazing so far. It's sort of fairly early days, but you can already see that difference. You know, the involvement in shaping the name of this project, in shaping how the survey is done, how that becomes accessible, how different people are included, is already sort of fundamental. And
Yeah.
ultimately, what that's going to do is drive the whole next strategy for designability, because the things that come to the top in the Unfair Index project will shape what we want to work on for the next 3, 4, 5 years of the organization.
No, I love that. Coming from myself, being brand new within the lived experience panel, having a voice is something that's very important to me. I do consider myself a little bit of a advocate where physical disabilities do mean a huge amount from me and my brother, who's powered wheelchair users, and having that sense of community within the panel, people from London, Manchester, Birmingham. Um, it's nice that other people, we're all in a little family together trying to work out a solution to a problem, whether it's public transport, whether it's finding a solution to um disabled bathrooms or toilets across the country. Knowing the fact that other people are going through the same struggles and having that forward thinking mind of everyone coming together and coming up with a solution is, it's amazing. That's just, my feedback to you guys, like, having different sort of sectors, whether, you're, partially blind or you've got a physical impairment, visual impairment, everyone coming together is, it takes a lot of courage, and doing this project. It means a lot to me, and I'm guessing it means a lot to the panel as well. Um,
Yeah, I mean that's so good to hear, and I really hope you've had a good experience so far, and that you sort of continue to get to sort of shape some really interesting work.
yeah, hopefully, we've got a lot of things to change in the world, and it's slowly we're getting there. Once the research is complete, what are the next steps? Like, what happens next?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. So, like a lot of our work more recently has been in the sort of transport and mobility space.
Yeah.
And so I think what this opens up for us is hopefully the opportunity to work in a variety of areas. I'm sure it will include transport because that's, somewhere we're strong and we know it's a big issue. But what we're really excited to see is what comes to the top. This is all about listening to disabled people all over the country, and finding out what bubbles to the top. And we are very hopeful that there'll be some things that we will be great at working on in that list.
Yeah.
Really hope so. And once the research is done, we'll start doing some deep dives. So we'll start like looking at specific areas that have come out of the data, and then trying to find out more about what those needs are, what those barriers are, and start to look at where design solutions could make a difference. As part of that process, we'll also be looking at how do we fund those initiatives, because we're a
Yes.
charity, but we hope because of the voices of so many people being in the work, we'll have shown that the need is there, which will make more people interested in collaborating with us or funding us. So there's that part that, I suppose is what designability hopes to do. We know that things will come up that where we're not best placed to be the people that make a difference. And that could be where policy change is needed. It could be perhaps where more behavior change is needed, some of those things may come up, and that's not our specialism. So we'll look to find other charities or other organizations that we can share what we found so that they have new information that can help them make a difference in those spaces. Hammas, can you tell me a little bit about why you applied to be a lived experience advisor?
Yeah, so the actual advert for the application came up on my mother's phone. So currently I'm based in Rochdale, Manchester. I do a lot of work, especially in the disability community, especially from a powered wheelchair point of view. Making sure things are accessible, people are getting the support that they needed from the local authorities, and whenever there is something that arises, I try to always put my effort in there because as a 25-year-old who's had that experience, I can kind of pass on my knowledge to younger individuals. So because of the work that I'm doing in the my local area, my mum just said, "Look, there's a good opportunity here for you to widen your knowledge and experience." So I went through the whole application, and for me, it hit me, like it hits home because my brother's in the same position, um, and I just want to advocate as much as possible to make sure whether it's power wheelchair users, hearing impaired, visual impairment, there's always a solution to a problem, and it's about putting our brains together from different backgrounds all across the UK, and doing some work where we can find a solution. There's issues that I've had, public transport, whether it's this is not right for me, or going to the disabled access to bathrooms and not being able to do the radar key because of my condition. No, little things like that. Put little things into perspective that that there can be a button instead of a key, or there can be step-free access platforms on every single station, and it's just about you know pushing that forward and gaining experiences, lived experiences from other individuals. So that's why I joined. I think my experience, I've only been in 2 sessions and probably been in Designability for 3 weeks now. But just the team, the spirit, the knowing that fact that what, no question is the wrong, and no question is wrong. Always having that positive spirit of what, there is a different way, there is a way around this, and gives me the confidence to go about my life and bring that positivity in my personal life. Seeing the other people in the panel, especially from their challenges, from where the backgrounds that they come from, it gives me that sense of comfortability that what, I'm not the only one that's going through this. There's other people going through this as well. So there's that sense of I get family orientated panel where everyone's just looking out for each other. So
Yeah, that's nice.
yeah,
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll, as a panel, inspire lots of people as well,
yeah,
and get people excited about the differences that can be made.
100%. Jim, firstly, I just want to say thank you very much for giving your feedback on things, especially coming from a point of view of designability, the organization, the goals, and the things that we are looking forward to doing together. I think it's been a great opportunity for me as an individual, getting involved from the work that we're doing, meeting new people. So thank you very much, and hopefully we can you know get busy and start doing this project so we can see the results.
Amazing, and I'm very impressed with how slick you are as a presenter. So I'm sure we'll find other ways to benefit from that as the project goes on.
Thank you. Thank you.